I became an engineer because I was thinking about what I used to love as a child. So I loved maths, and I absolutely used to love wandering around, looking at buildings, looking at bridges, wondering how they worked. So I thought, right, that's what I want to do. I love helping people. I wanted to produce things that would help people lead better lives, and so they could live in them. And I love problem solving. My first job after college was being a waitress. So I was a waitress until about my late 20s, and I worked in lots of restaurants in city centre of Manchester. And then I just decided I need a change of career, I need to do something different. So that's when I decided, what did I used to love as a child? That's it, I'm going to go into engineering. So my qualifications, I originally got my A-levels, but didn't really do anything with those. Then after my waitressing career, I was really trying to find a way to do my A-levels from home, like online learning or something. At the time, it was really difficult to do anything like that. So I had to go to college to do an access course. So I did that in computing, in maths and engineering. And from there, still doing my waitressing at night, so it was very, very difficult. I applied to Manchester University to do a degree in civil engineering. I got told no, that I couldn't go, and I emailed them and asked why, and they couldn't give me a reason. So I actually asked to speak to them and talked my way into them actually giving me a chance, and I ended up getting my degree. It was supposed to be a master's, but then I came on a placement here at William Hare, and that was after my third year. So I stopped with the full degree at Manchester and started doing my master's at Salford University part-time, so I could work here as well. I was on a placement here. I think I fit in. I think they liked the fact that I was really interested in the job. It's like when you're at university, you really only hear about the consultants and, like the big companies that you see walking down the street, or, you see the big billboards when they're doing actual buildings. But fabricators and the people sort of behind the scenes, no one really knows about them. So I did hear about this place through people who were already in the industry, but through the work we're doing at the moment, going into the schools and speaking to kids, I think a lot more people know to apply to places like this. My day-to-day job, there's a lot of maths, some drawing. Basically what happens is, when you have a steel-framed building, because we are a steel fabricator, the building is designed by a consultant, and then they will give us information so that we have to design how to put everything together. So like how all the ends of the beams fix to the columns, which might sound really easy, but it's really, really complicated, which is a lot of pressure actually. So I do that. I'd have to know how to draw properly so that the people who are going to put my drawings into a model for the people in the factory to make everything. So I have to be really clear with my drawing. I go to meetings, I talk to a lot of people, find out what people actually want, or what they need, because sometimes what they say they want and what they actually want is quite different. There's a lot of things that I learned whilst waitressing that have been quite good to bring across to this job. So talking to people, listening to people, prioritising my workload. I love coming in the morning, being given a problem and not knowing exactly how I'm going to figure out how to do it. It's a bit of a scary feeling, but then what you have to be able to do is look at the information you actually have, what you can work out from that. And you might have never done this task before, but you use what you already know to work out how to do something. So something that could seem impossible at the beginning of the day, by the end of the day, you've either, figured it out, or you know how to figure it out, and it's just the most amazing feeling in the world. I also love walking around, say, London or Manchester and seeing jobs that I've worked on. So the first building I worked on was number 1 Spinning Fields in Manchester. It was a bit scary at the thought of something in that building is because of me, and I hope it doesn't fall down. It's not, by the way. But then I went for dinner in the restaurant at the top of the building quite recently, and it's just an amazing feeling, sat there thinking, I've had something to do with this. I really love the respect in the industry that my small part of the industry has, because outside engineering, no one really knows about connection design or steel fabricators. You know, it sounds like a dirty, mucky thing to do. But I have friends who are engineers who work for consultants, and they know how difficult our job is. One of the challenges as a whole in the industry is getting just a wider variety of people in, more girls, more ethnic minorities. So when I first started, it was a big shock to the system to pretty much be the only girl who is a designer here. But this is why we do a lot of STEM work. So we go into schools, we get out there and talk to kids about what it is to be an engineer, why you would want to be an engineer. My plans for the future, hopefully, fingers crossed, I will have finished my dissertation in less than a year. Scary. And then, so that means I'll have my master's in structural engineering, and then I'm going to go for my chartership, which is a professional exam, which is a 6-hour exam, which sounds really scary. A young girl, I would say the internet is an amazing resource at the moment. You know, when I first started thinking about engineering, there wasn't as much around. But I would say start looking at websites, you know, start looking, just Google engineering, different types of engineering, structural engineering, look at the images, you know, follow what's there, to go onto companies' websites, see what sort of things they do, because it's exciting. You know, you start looking at that, or, you know, it just takes you on a path. You know, you can always get in touch with the company. A lot of companies these days will send someone to your school to talk about stuff if that's what you want. Speak to your teachers, say, can we invite an engineer or a scientist or, you know, a mathematician in to talk to us? I think you really need to talk to people and find out what their job is actually like.